Kelly, oi! Now, before you worry that you're about to be told off, let me reassure you that oi here is our equivalent of g'day. Husband, oi! Wife, oi! John, oi! Kelly, oi! Just the Vietnamese way of saying g'day. I thought I'd knock up a quick vid to let you know so you won't believe the transformation in Hopkins. For one, as you can see, I'm a lot thinner and a lot lighter than when you last saw me. I'm now 85 kilos, not 115. I'm also the happiest I've ever been in my life. In the journalistic spirit of lists of three, there are three reasons for that. One, I no longer live below the poverty line. Sure, when the disability pension was indexed to inflation and technically a mere $1 or $2 above the poverty line, yes, I could just about survive. But once you factor in cost of medicine, fuel, car maintenance, insurance, blah, 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 I was definitely living below the poverty line. Even GP visits had to be carefully rationed out because when I moved to Gawler, there were no GP practices that were taking new patients. They were all chockers. So I had to keep my GP in sterling to have regular checkups and scripts. Here, even on the disability pension, my dollar goes so much further. I live like a prince here. Not a king, but definitely not having any money worries anymore. And the stress relief is incredible. And as an example of how not having money worries helps, after just 4 months here, I woke up one day and realized that I'd forgotten to be depressed. So I wrote a book about it. Of course I did. Second point, January 2025, just before I left Australia to come here, I was informally diagnosed with AUDHD, or DHD as it's called. That cunning combination of autism and ADHD that explained precisely everything about me and why my life had taken the trajectory it did. It explained the business failures, the marriage failure, the relationship failures, why I never quite fitted into the room I was standing in, why people said I was too, as in too bouncy, too sad, too noisy, too quiet, too deep thinking, too emotional, too name your own version of me. But realizing that I was misdiagnosed as bipolar when in fact I was just working twice as hard as everyone else to do normal, and so constantly burning out, was transformative. My autism explained why I could go days without sleep to finish a project no one ever asked me to undertake and no one ever would be interested in. It also explains why I kept collapsing into exhaustion because I burnt the candle so bright at both ends. Autism and ADHD coexisting in my brain means that my brain is constantly at war because each hates the other's way of thinking and doing. But as an explanation for why I am who I am, it is both a blessing and a curse because of the relief of knowing that I'm not a fuck up, just wired differently. But also because the grief of finally, at 66 years of age, realizing why I have the life I've led means that I grieve over the life I could have had but didn't, because no one knew that adults could be autistic or ADHD, only pre-teen boys. And when I was a boy, those diagnoses were just not available. So I wrote a book about being misdiagnosed, of course I did, and my Substack is all about neurodiversity and in particular AUDHD. That book. And 3, a woman. Yes, I've done what all the old expat white Western men who've retired to Southeast Asia have done. I've fallen in love with a woman, and a younger woman. I'm 67 and Hung is 23. Nah, just kidding. Hung is 50 and we have an amazing life together, which I'm constantly surprised by. I finally have someone in my life who loves me and doesn't shake her head. Through whom I now have an extended family who love me passionately and not for my wallet, I hasten to add, because they've never asked me for anything. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter. Her father asked me to be his father because neither he or his wife had male parents still alive. So As a Vietnamese family is very much a hierarchy, I was formally asked to be Sarah's grandfather, or asked by her father to be her grandfather. Sarah and I had an instant bond when we first met at her aunt's Chinese massage studio, and she decided within seconds I was to be called Grandpa, and so Grandpa I became. Her every sentence started with the word, as happens with 5-year-olds. Then her father sheepishly asked me if I would be the family's grandpa. I cried. Of course I did. So I have an amazing family around me that loves me as much as I love them. I have a wonderful, clever, funny, incredible woman in my life who loves me as much as I love her, and we are engaged to be married. The Vietnamese bureaucracy is unlike nothing you have ever seen. You think local councils are slow-moving arseholes? You have not seen anything until you get here. In the last 14 months, I've written 13 books, seriously, and I'm currently co-writing a book on perimenopause with a Brisbane-based friend who is both a counselling psychologist and a woman in the midst of it. Now, I know, a book written by a man about perimenopause. It's the sort of thing that gives my sex such a bad reputation. Gay is writing half the book from her perspective, and I'm writing half from my perspective, the person on the other side of the bed, so to speak. The husband who has the salt shaker thrown at him because he dared ask if she wanted some salt in her soup. Anyway, that's enough for you. You know I don't do brief replies or short sentences. I write monologues, and this one is surely testing your patience. Please, please, please tell me how you're getting on. I'd love to know how you and Steve's businesses are doing. How are the girls? I assume that the social media ban in Australia is still not working. Oh, and here's an idea. Since I am definitely not a journo, and we both discovered that, I am a writer with a personality. If there's anything you think might be useful path to wander down perhaps sometime in the future, let me know. Maybe in an agony column, Dear Grandpa or something. And my replies come with my sideways sense of humour. Think Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams, Spike Milligan's irrelevance, and a dose of good old Aussie bullshit detection. Oh, and SUBSTACK. Are you on SUBSTACK? It's already starting to enshitify, but it's currently still a growth platform for creators. For example, my own channel gets perhaps 2 likes per day, 1 restack a month or so. But one brief tweet I sent out last Wednesday has currently scored over 14,000 likes and over 500 retweets. In 4 days, it doubled my subscriber base. Completely blew me away. There's a book in that. And in a move that has astonishingly surprised absolutely no one, I've already started outlining a children's book. Thank you for remembering me and for wanting to know how I'm getting on. Fabulously is the answer. Oh, and to play me out, here's a song I wrote to Hung while I was flying to Tokyo to buy a second-hand camera and some lenses, as you do. Plus some photos I've taken here. Ciao, Kelly.
The 30,000 feet above the dark, I am running on the last of me. 3 time zones from the warmth of you, and my whole self has come unmoored. I don't sleep, the nights so run together, and poor company even on my own. There's a hollow where your breathing was, and the quiet in this aircraft cabin has a weight. But you are the cool of evening, when the long hot day lets go at last. You lay against my chest, and everything in me stands down. Wife, you bring me back to earth. You are the only gravity I trust. 3 red roses and your steady hand, holding them toward a stunned and grateful man. You were never meant to be the one to ask, and you asked me anyway. But you are the cool of evening, when the long hot day lets go at last. You lay your hand against my chest, and everything in me stands down. Wife, you bring me back to earth. You are the only gravity I trust. I am not lonely for the world. I am lonely for the weight of you beside me, for the breath that tells my body it can finally lay its weapons down. So I'm coming home, and home is you. A hill town in the cloud, your roses in my heart. Hold on, my love, I'm nearly there. Back down to earth.